Yeah, they weren't able to fit monsters on Hyrule map, but as they added the expansion pack for Majora's Mask, they actually could, because it gave them slightly more memory to do so. So, the graphics, they're awesome. These are graphics that I grew up with as a kid, as well as Super Nintendo and NES when I went over to my friend's house and played this, but yeah, I'm not friends with that guy anymore, but back in the day, we grew up with this, and guess what? We liked it! For the music, oh, if I had to give it a 10 out of 10, I'd give it an 11 out of 10, or more than that. The music is the best music I've heard in any Zelda game. Yeah, I love the music in this game. It has to get that 10 out of 10. As for the plot, well, what do you want me to say about a plot of a Zelda game? You go through dungeons, you take care of some stuff, and well, I guess you could say that they could have done more with it, because it's a 3D game compared to Link to the Past and whatnot, but well, Zelda games is Zelda games, so. As for the plot, this is one of the more solid storylines than it usually is. I mean, it's not no RPG like Seiken Densetsu 3 or, well, other stuff, and they're getting drunk and partying. At least they're best buddies now, but I give the plot a 10 out of 10. Very well done and executed. What am I missing? Overall, I give this game a 10 out of 10. It deserves a 10 out of 10, viewers. I mean, amazing gameplay, fun items, and as long as the game's fun, that's what a game's about. If you're playing a video game that's not good, it's like reading a bad book. I mean, why bother reading a bad book when you can do something else? And everyone's celebrating that, well, Ganondorf's no longer in power. It's all taken care of, but I wonder if any of them wonder that Link's gone. Wow, they're partying all day, partying all night. I guess their allergies to cuckoo's gone, or whatever, because she's... Or maybe those are pocket cuckoos. Who knows? Everyone's happy, and... Well, it's good to be happy, viewers. Are you happy? Oh, I guess Mito's not happy. How did King Zora get here, let alone fit through the gate? I'd like to know that. Just make a whole game about King Zora moving from the Zora's domain to the gate. Yeah, I'd like to see that. That would be funny. Oh, a shooting star? Make a wish, Mito. Oh, it's the sages. As if that's not obvious. Yeah, there's too many for them to be like Nehru, Din, and Faro. Nintendo did a great job with this game. If I'm missing anything that I should have reviewed in my review for Ocarina of Time, let me know and I'll answer it in the comments section below. Peace has finally returned to Hyrule. It's good to have peace. What's so great about Nintendo games and stuff is when you beat the game, you feel like you accomplished something. When you finish a puzzle, you feel like you accomplished that as well. Now, one thing this game really does to the Zelda timeline is it really screws with your head. It really screws you up to where I should even go in more detail on how to explain it with maybe a picture once we're actually done with the credits and everything. Well, the Master Sword goes to rest and... Oh, what's the change? Has Link not drawn it yet? Is he about to draw it? Navi, you okay? Oh, let's go home, Navi. You know, let's go pack our bags, go home, call it a day. Navi, where are you going? Navi, come back! Why are you leaving me? Navi? And yes, she leaves us. For good. And that's the end. So Link's sent back to his own time. My theory is that Navi dies because we never see her again, but, well, in Majora's Mask, we actually go looking for Navi, so maybe we will see her in that game. You'd have to play the game or watch me play it to find out. But oh man, that game's tough, so we'll see. Well, apparently we're back at Hyrule Castle. Oh, apparently Zelda's not chased out of the castle yet. Who's that walking? Link. Yeah, with knowledge of the future, he can prevent the past. Hey Zelda, how's it going? Are you startled there? Oh, same as when we first saw her. You can also see Mario in the window over there. And we finally get the true ending. So, at the end of Ocarina of Time, it split the timeline in two, as we all know. There is the time he left behind, where there's the adult Zelda, the sealed Ganondorf, people celebrating, and then he goes back here. When he goes back here, viewers, he warns Ganondorf about, not Ganondorf, the King of Hyrule and Zelda about what's going to happen, and he actually has proof and the power of the courage, Triforce of Courage, within his hand, like within himself still. So the king obviously believes him, and he leaves before the war even happens, which is in Majora's Mask. But actually, let me go into more detail about the timeline, but you guys really shouldn't care about it. We should care to a point of how the order of events go, but you shouldn't care so much to where you can't play the Zelda game for fun. People are still whining and complaining about it when I really don't see why. Because you play a Zelda game for the story itself, not, well, how it all connects together. That's what's so great about a Zelda game. You don't have to play the ones before it or after to get what's going on at the one you're playing. So, I'll go into a little more detail and actually wrap up Ocarina of Time. I'll meet you guys at a different screen.
Okay, I decided to record my full screen to further explain what exactly is going on. So, Skyward Sword takes place where everything's in the sky and an ancient battle, and then they all return back to the Earth and whatnot. And then there's a couple eras, Chaos and Prosperity, and then it goes into the Minish Cap. So since the Hyrule Historia was released, it's actually that it goes very well into the Minish Cap, because, well, Hyrule's created and whatnot, and it has its own story itself, or bodies born and whatnot. And then it goes into Four Swords. I'm not exactly sure if this is the same Link, but it might as well be. And then we have Ocarina of Time, what we just Let's Played. With Ocarina of Time, it creates 3 timelines, as we all see through here. There is 2 timelines where the hero is successful, so Ganondorf is sealed here in the adult era. And then there is where he's sent back to the child era, where it's protected, and they have a war and whatnot, and it leads straight into Majora's Mask. But how is the timeline where he's defeated happens? Was he trapped in the water temple? Did Ganon actually kill him? How and when was this created, and how did it take place? Well, since the Hyrule Historia is in Japanese and not yet translated into English, or maybe someone did translate it, or they're working on it, but at the time I made this video, it's not. So, the third timeline actually goes where he's defeated, let's say we don't know how yet, and it goes to the Hyrule's Decline, it goes to Link to the Past. And there's something called the Sealing War, which I wish they would actually make a game on that, because I think that would be really cool. So, how it happens, my speculation is that when we when we change the past with the Song of Storms and actually helping Nabaru, we go back and forth. So, with that being, we change something in the past, and we can't return to the original future that we're trying to get to, because we changed it. So therefore, we can't go back to it. We create a whole nother era, which is this future, and this is the child era we get sent back into. So our changes make an alternate future, where he's sealed, and it leads to the Wind Waker and everything after that. So this timeline is the one where we never return to, is where he could also well be known as defeated, because you don't see him again. Sheik doesn't see him again, so they all think he was defeated by Ganondorf or something, and being evil as Ganondorf may be, he could as well lie and say, yeah, I defeated him, and it goes to Hyrule's Decline. So that's just my speculation how it goes. So it goes into Link to the Past right after that. And then there's Majora's Mask, and then there's also Wind Waker. But let me actually scroll down through the bottom of the timeline. Now, don't get me wrong, a timeline's just a timeline. You shouldn't get all hooked up about it or cry and whine like some people are. So, viewers, don't really worry about the timeline, just play the games individually for fun. Then it goes to Oracle Seasons and Ages, any particular order. And then there's Twilight Princess in the middle timeline, also known as the Dark Era. Well, the Dark Timeline. Link's Awakening, then there's Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks. Surprisingly, Four Swords Adventure comes after Twilight Princess. And, well, my friend Hebi-san, also known as Brian, is also... We're planning on doing a co-op LP for Four Swords Adventures sometime in the future. When? Oh, not going to tell you, but sometime in the future. And then it was actually the Era of Decline, where it takes the original Legend of Zelda and the Adventure of Link, and I will get around to LP and Legend of Zelda, but Adventure of Link, that'll be a very long time from now, kind of like Spirit Tracks, so not going to really get too much into that, because I'll LP with them when I get around to it, and when I will feel like it. So that's basically how 3 timelines are created from Ocarina of Time. So again, don't fret, don't worry. Well, you should care a little bit, but don't care too much about it. And that's basically the timeline. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Let's Play as much as I enjoyed making it, and I will get around to creating a couple bonus episodes on how to get the 4th bottle, or my attempt to get it, I should say. What other bonus episode was I going to create on Ocarina of Time? Maybe I'm not. That's the only one I'm going to create. Yeah, I think so. Well, thank you guys for joining me, and have a good day.